And we are live officially. Willie, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, definitely can. So let's take a second here to get some people up on the call, or I guess a video. Um, so today I decided to do this live from my hammock.
That's good. I like hammocks. You got a nice view backdrop
Yeah,
over there.
this is downtown Chicago, but
So
nice day
if
out.
you
And
if you raise it again, show them the Hancock building. Show them the Hancock building.
hold
Oh,
on. Ooh,
oh, oh, oh. So the Hancock building, I am right to the right of that. If you see that like white building around right to the right of the Hancock building, then I'm like right over there.
yeah, that's
So
about where you live.
yeah, I'm just like east.
So yeah, I'm live from my balcony. Willie's live from his apartment, and
Yep.
we are starting tomorrow. All the parts are going to come. We're building out our mini studio in our office building. So starting next week, it'll be a lot more professional and it'll look pretty sweet. But from the meantime, I'm going to take this call live from my hammock.
All right. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. What
Yeah.
what
So
are we talking?
today we are talking about how land flipping has given us financial independence and freedom. Wow, that's a lot to talk about, and I'm everyone that's on right now. I want to encourage you to add comments. I want you to talk about, what your current situation is. I want to hear about what people's goals are. We want to hear from you. So, yeah, we're going to talk about how it's changed our lives, but we want to know how we can help you change your life. I think that is the main takeaway of today. So we want to hear from our viewers out there. So Willie, I would say that we both have pretty compelling stories as to how we got involved. I guess not so much even the land business, but the entrepreneurial journey. I think that's important to talk about, and I think it's important to talk about, uh, you know, from going on that entrepreneurial journey, how our lives have changed. I look back to what my life was like 4 years ago, and I would have never imagined that this is where I would be today. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You accomplish so much more in such a quick time when you have focus. And yeah, so I just also want to mention if you do have questions, comments, post them in the chat. Looks like we got Freddie on,
Yeah,
and we can go
Freddie
off
joined
topic.
last week.
Yeah, we can go off topic as well if you've got questions on different topics in the land business, or you just have questions in your journey right now. We can certainly answer those questions. So, Freddie, I did mention that we do have a contract, and I can get that to you. Send me an email at willie@landinvestingpros.com. For current students, I'm happy to share that template. So just shoot me an email, willie@landinvestingpros.com. All right,
He's
but yeah,
coming,
why don't you go ahead.
Freddie's coming in hot to our. He joined last week. He's coming in hot.
Have four currently have four properties at title that I'm selling. I'll make 87K this month. Wow, that's great. Are you only doing cash deals, Freddie? Maybe chime in with the number of deals that you've done to date so far. But that's a hell of a start. I'm assuming you had a little bit of a head start before joining us. But yeah, if you could mention the number of deals, that would be great. I think it would be interesting to see what point in your land investing journey you're at. But that's great to hear. Let's see. Um, this is a good topic, my dudes. I'm not sure who that is. I can check the chat, but Paul, why don't you get started? Maybe where you came from. I know you. I mean, you started after
I saw
college.
our story. Yeah, our stories are a little bit similar but different.
Sure. Why don't you start with your story and I guess what level of freedom you have now compared to where you were, call it 5 years ago, even 2 years ago, or just show explain that progression.
Yeah, definitely. So my journey kind of started about 5 years ago. I graduated college. I knew at some point that I was not destined to work for someone just because it's kind of in my blood. My dad's a serial entrepreneur. My cousins all have some type of their own business. So I knew that was kind of what my future held. I didn't really know what it was going to look like. Originally, I thought it would just be that I would take over my family business, and that was kind of the route that I was going to go on. And I realized that I could, over time, that I could do more on my own than, doing that. So, long story short, graduated college, took a job. I got fired from that first job in the first 3 months of being at that job.
that was like a real shock. I was so like, I didn't know what I was going to do. It was like, you just graduated college and you just got fired. And it was a really strange time. And then within like a month or two, I got another job in sales. So I was working in sales. This was a really hard job. I was driving 2-3 hours every day, just going to different clients. And if it's too windy, let me know and I'll move.
Oh, you're good. Your lighting could be a little better, but your sound audio is good.
Maybe I'll bring it inside after I tell the story. So, anyways, I was in a sales job. It was a really tough job, doing about about 100 cold calls a day, trying to get people to buy this stupid pharmaceutical service. And I did that, I think, for about a year and a half. But while I was on there, I was, like I mentioned, I was driving like 3 hours a day at least. So I was in my car a lot. And one day I was like, you know what? I can either listen to Howard Stern every day and listen to just stuff that doesn't really add educational value to my life, or I can use this time, like I'm stuck in this job, I'm going to ride it out, or I can use this time to better myself. And so I obviously chose the second half. And so I went down this journey of listening to a gazillion different podcasts. And somehow I ended up hearing about Amazon, and this was in 2015. So in 2015, Amazon was super easy, like really, really easy, not how it is today. So I just started consuming everything that I could get my hands on related to selling on Amazon. And fast forward to like beginning of 2016, I was like, I'm doing this. I remember I found some stupid product that I wanted to do. And instead of just like ordering the product, I'm like, I'm going to invent a new type of product. I'm not an engineer. I basically reached out to a factory. I had them send me like everything in their catalog. And I basically built this new product and I put it on Amazon and it took off. Like it was just like right away I was selling a bunch. And I was like, I think maybe 4 to 6 weeks into it, I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I quit. So I quit my job without any plan, without any real income coming in. And I'm like, you know what? I'm either going to sink or swim. And if I sink, I'll just go and get another job. And if it goes well, then heck yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of how my entrepreneurial journey started. So I started with Amazon, and then I guess, Willie, why don't you tell your story, and then we can kind of talk about how our stories like mesh together. And go from there.
Yeah,
I'm going to move the party inside really quick.
No, move it in. But I just want, before we get into that, Freddie just mentioned he started in. He says he started in March. I sent my first mailers March 1st. Sold my first 2 properties in May, and have completed 2 deals so far. We'll complete 6 by the end of this month. But he's going to make 87 grand this month alone in just doing cash deals, and he just started in March. So I gotta say that's pretty amazing. So, I mean, I think that just shows you the power of this business. Freddie, chime in if you've had any prior real estate experience. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I guess the point here is that if you just start taking action and buying properties and doing deals, and did you, and what, maybe if you can mention if you've used your own money or other people's money, or how you funded it, that would be helpful for people as well. But I think that's pretty amazing for a guy just starting. So I think this niche is very powerful, and good things happen when you send out mail. But yeah, into my background, I started. So I came out of college in financial services, worked in investment banking for a couple of years, and it was very challenging, demanding hours, tough culture, and I didn't love it. So just like you, I knew that I was destined to do something else outside of being kind of bossed around and told what to do, and driven having my boss drive my cortisol levels through the roof, because I hated emails. Emails were the worst thing for me. So I kind of went down the same journey, and eventually, so I less like you, I am much more calculated and less jumping into things. I think you agree with that. And so I waited a full year, and waited till my income like 3-4x what I currently had in my salary. And at that point, that's when I felt comfortable jumping. And then from there, we started to build and grow and scale. But I would say the lifestyle, and I guess the topic here is about the freedom that this has allowed. The lifestyle that I had previously in the corporate world compared to what it is today is just totally different. Just the ability to get out of that, and not only not stress about having a boss. I have much less financial stress now than I did when I was in the corporate world, when I was in investment banking. And that's because this niche really has proven fruitful, and we're just very consistently able to sell property and earn income. And I don't know, it's just great, just not having the stress, having the flexibility of my own schedule, being able to travel whenever I want. Obviously, it's a bit tougher in these times, but I'm just so thankful that I found this niche, and I kind of went for it. And then, I mean, we partnered up. And so, yeah, why don't you, while we wait on Freddie, I'm not sure if he's still on, but while we wait on him to kind of give us an update there, why don't you talk about how your lifestyle has changed, and what being an entrepreneur and getting into this niche has meant for you?
Yeah, I would say the Paul from 4 years ago wouldn't even recognize the Paul today. The things that I was interested in then are completely different than what I'm interested in now. Now every day for me is like, how can I improve my life every single day? How can I learn something new every day? How can I be happy every single day? Versus before, all I cared about was like, let's see how drunk we can get, or like, let's go watch like sports every day, and that's all that matters. Really, I would say the biggest thing is my mindset has completely changed towards the things that are actually more important in life than just doing things that don't matter. But as far as freedom, I've been able to travel the whole world, or a lot of the world. And actually this year, Willie and I were supposed to do a lot of cool stuff, like go to the Olympics. That obviously didn't happen. We're lucky enough that we've gotten to a point where we can go anywhere and do anything at a drop of a dime. It's unfortunate, like what's going on in the world, but right now, for example, I'm making the best of it. I'm going out to Utah next week to go hiking, and just do like ATVing and stuff, just because I can, and I want to get away for a little bit. But really, it just allowed me and Willie we can do and go anywhere at any time.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And so let's get some of these questions. And if you guys have other questions outside of this, or if you have questions on this topic, feel free to just add in the chat, and we're happy to kind of address what you've got going on. Facebook user, so I'm not sure how to view these. Again, we've had this problem, but that's awesome, Freddie Newhold. And then Burke says, great stuff, Freddie. Incredible, Freddie, motivating. I just sent my first mailers at the end of July. So that is great. I'm going to try to pull up some of these names just so I can see who is posting.
That's Phil Gibson.
Okay. All right, so that's Robin Lilly. We got Burke here. We got Phil Gibson, Sandrine. How much mail do you guys send to be able to do the volume you guys do? So let's get into that in just a second, because Freddie responded here. He said, never have, man, so he doesn't have no real estate experience. Always been interested in real estate, so I think that helps, and I love it. First two were assignments. So Freddie didn't even put up any of the capital for these deals. So assignment meaning he sent out mail, he got a purchase price, he got a property under contract, and then he sold that contract. And I'm assuming maybe you did a double close. I don't know too many people doing assignments in the land business. I'm assuming you probably did a double close, but I could be wrong there. If I'm incorrect, just chime in there. But my very first mailer had a home run buying-wise, partnered on it, splitting 50-50. Okay. Sent to title for $30K near Austin in March, but had a judgment lien, so it officially closed a month ago with a good outcome. Listed on Zillow for $105.6 grand and received a cash offer of $105.5.
Wow,
so that's pretty amazing.
Awesome.
That is pretty amazing off the get-go. So
let's talk about. So actually, I had someone call us today, and he mentioned that about the double close thing. I feel like that's so few and far between and pretty hard to accomplish. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, you can do it, but if you got a good enough deal, you should just find the capital to take it down. Because I guess as you're getting started, it might make sense to get properties under contract and try to sign the contract and sell them and market them on Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook, wherever you can. But as you get more experience, more comfortable, it just makes more sense to close in the deals, because if you get these under contract and the seller finds out that you're marketing it for a significant higher amount, or the seller just becomes shady over time, then you might lose. You just might lose the deal. So while it's good, maybe you can get started doing that. I think that taking down the deals using cash, raising money is probably the better way to do it. But when you're getting started, all you need in the contract, and we do have this in our course, is a 6 months diligence period. So all you need to do if you want to get these properties under contract is get them under contract, send out mail, and put in there that you've got a 6 month diligence period, and then you can market the property while you have it. In there in the contract it says I have equitable interest in the property, and so while you have that contract, that is legal right for you to sell the property. And so that is certainly a way you can get started as you get more experience, as I said, raising money, doing these deals, closing, even if you don't have the capital.
Wait, Willie, you went through that really fast, and I feel like that's a huge nugget that most people aren't talking about. You want to break that down a little bit, because I feel like that's a super valuable thing that you just said there, and I think we should unpack it for a minute, because it's something just like how like the 6 month due diligence. Because I remember when we first started, you're like, I know this guy, he's killing it. He doesn't put up any capital. He finds the buyers before. Like, I know it. Like, why don't you just unpack it a little bit? I know, but at the same time, it like you mentioned, it's tough to get those deals, and you're not going to have immediate success with that, because it is pretty difficult, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it is difficult. So I mean, it's just like any other transaction. You're sending out direct mail. You've got an offer letter in there. And I still highly recommend, I don't think neutral letters make sense under any circumstance. I think offer letters are the single best way to go about it. So I would send out offer letters in there, but in one of your terms on the purchase agreement, you just say, this agreement, something along the lines of, this agreement gives buyer equitable interest in the property. Buyer has right to market and sell while in diligence period, something along those lines. I mean, we've got it worded a little bit better than that. And then you put a close date on there of this property to close by X date. In the interim is a diligence period. So there's just a little couple added additional lines for wording, and then you can throw that in the contract. And then once it's signed, you have that contract. So once you get that contract, you literally have a legal document stating I have equitable interest in this property. I can sell this. So I know people who've even given those to realtors and had them post on the MLS. I'm not saying I advise doing that or not, but I'm saying I know people that do it. And from what I understand, I don't see anything wrong with it. You do have equitable interest in the property. So you could literally post them on the MLS when you have a contract, something like that. So, I mean, that is a strategy. It's not one that we personally implement. That's not one that we practice, but it's certainly one way to get started if you don't have the capital to buy these properties. Anything I should add on there?
No, I think it's cool. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, we haven't really ever done it, but I feel like it could make sense for, like, we're messing with real expensive properties and giving it to a real estate agent. I feel like that could get quite interesting, but you'll probably lose a deal.
Yeah. Our model is a bit different, and I mean, we've got a bit more experience. So I mean, we're closing down on our properties.
Yeah. Dang, Freddie, I'm so awesome that you joined the land flipping formula last week. I didn't realize how much early success you've had already. It's awesome.
Okay, so
here, this is the double closings.
On the double closings, my most recent one is double closing. Seller is from the UK, bought it for 12 and sold it the next day for 50. The next day for 50. It was a developer who actually replied to one of the mailers asking if I had land for sale. So there's a million ways to do this business, and Freddie is finding his footing.
Yep. There's many different ways.
So let's get to this question. Sandrine says, how much mail do you guys send to be able to do the volume that you guys do? So I guess before we get into that, Paul, why don't you mention kind of what kind of volume we're doing on the buy side and sell side, and how to back into how much mail do we send, and how should, and then I'll dive into how
you tell me how much mail we send. I'm not even sure these days we're sending so much. So our goal is to buy 130 properties a month. There's 132 properties a month. We're not there yet. It's definitely a stretch goal for us, but we're trying to get there. So in order to buy 132 properties a month, you need to send out a lot of mail. And it's really just a numbers game. There's no secret sauce. There's no special mailers that we're sending. It's purely a numbers game. And then our goal on the buy side or sell side is to sell 60 properties a month. We are basically doing that right now. We're hovering between 55 to 60 properties a month. And I'm pretty excited to see where it's going to go for the next quarter, to see how many properties a month we'll be selling. But Willie, I guess you can kind of talk about the numbers as
Yeah.
far as the mail, because I'm more so looking at the properties and of what we want to buy and not buy, and Willie's more in charge of deciding what areas to actually mail and sending out in the mail.
Yep. Right. So we had, I mean, we are doing some serious volume as you're getting started. It's not realistic to think that you're going to get to this level even in 6 months, 12 months. But we, I think last week was our record. We had purchased 27 properties, and that's not, I think that's a record. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's a record. And that we've done more in a week, but that's with the help of bulk deals and tax auctions and that kind of thing. This is exclusively through direct mail. 27 lots. We also, 27 lots bought. I think we had a record on sales too. I think we had 20 lots sold.
Yeah, 20,
So-
20. We sold 20 lots last week. That was a record. And this is not like, these are not $3,000 lots in Arkansas. These are, I don't know what our average sale price was, but it was probably around $15,000 to $20,000. So last week was really awesome.
And so in terms of, to back into doing this kind of volume. So honestly, it's like we have a database. So I would say we buy around 0.5%, a little bit less than 0.5% of the direct mail that we send out. We probably have been sending out, I think, 20 to 25,000 a month for the past few months. And I think we're going to try to stay relatively in that range. I don't know if we're going to go up too much beyond that. I mean, because right now we've got a huge database of properties that we can't even handle, can't even review. And so if your goal is to just buy one property a month, 2 properties a month, then you can set your expectations quite a bit lower. I would recommend, for those of you getting started out, maybe send your first mailer, send out 2,000 units, and I think and try maybe 2 different areas. Send 1,000 units.
And Willie, how much would it cost between DataTree and the mail costs? How much would it cost for someone to send out about 2,000 pieces of mail between the data and the mail? What could they expect to spend on something like that?
That's a good question. So yeah, I would say on your first mailer, getting started, send out 2,000 units. You should be able to buy several lots if you choose good markets for it and price it okay. Even if you price it bad, you get on the phone with people and you negotiate, then deals will happen. So I'd say send out 2,000 units, try 2 different markets. The total cost, I would say, so if we've got pretty cheap pricing on DataTree. If you go to landbias.com, you can find our pricing there. I think it's if you include everything, it's probably going to cost you 60 to 70 cents per unit, including the mail. Mail, data. So call it, I don't know, a little over $1,000 if you send out 2,000 units. So I think that's kind of going to be the range you're in. $1,000 to $1,300, $1,400 on your first mailer. If you're a little price sensitive, then just try 1,000 units in one market, and you should still get deals. I would say going closer to 2,000, you'll almost surely get deals on that. So I think that's kind of what I would recommend for that. So hopefully that answers your question.
This is a good one. Let's see who said this. This is this is Phil. And Phil said this may be a question you've had before, but have you guys noticed any change on either side of your business throughout COVID? So that's a great question. In terms of the sales side of like selling properties, I'm not really sure. that if it's that we just got better at the business. I think it's a combination of we got better at the business and our systems in place, while also there has been a large increase in demand for land, because versus like regular real estate, I don't really know what the regular real estate market's doing, but as far as the land market goes, there's been a significant increase because people are trying to leave the cities. People they want somewhere to go, and it's just like they want recreational area, stuff like that. I actually got off the phone like 2 weeks ago. We were talking to some real estate agent in Colorado, and he's like, I've been in the game since the early '90s. The land, he focuses specifically on land. He's like, I've been in the game since the early '90s, and I have never seen a market like this. I've never seen demand so high for land in my entire career, and that's directly from someone that's been in the business for a really long time. So definitely zero slowdown on the sales side. But as far as buying properties, I feel like it's basically the same. No.
Yeah,
maybe more people wanting to sell.
It's overwhelming the amount of leads that we have, so it's hard to track what's based on COVID, what's not. But I would say we've hit record months the past several months. So we've definitely had no sales or slowdown on the sales side, acquisition side. We're ramping things up as well. So hard to say what's we can attribute to COVID, what we can attribute to just us building better systems and getting more acquainted and doing things better. But I would say that I think it's very, very safe to say. I think it's pretty. I think all land investors would agree, or the majority. I don't think anyone would disagree that the land market has improved over the past few months. And I know our personal anecdotes talking to realtors and our personal experience has agrees with that. So,
yeah, here's a good one.
Nigel says, are there any worries of competition in the land game?
How long did it take me to finally come around to the fact that there's no competition?
Universe. Yeah,
I came from the Amazon universe where there is just insane competition.
You were holding everything tight to your chest. When you came into this niche, you're like, why on earth are you coaching? There's like, aren't you worried about competition, building competition? How's your mindset right now?
There's so much. I wish we had $1 billion, because I think we could spend $1 billion on land. Like there's unlimited amounts of land to buy, and you have to remember, like it's not like Amazon, for example. There's only so many positions on page one for you to sell your product. I don't know, it's like 32 or 22 or 32 positions on page one for Amazon. So let's say that I'm selling these. Let's say, for example, I sell candles. I'm not going to tell my friend that I sell gardenia flavored candles if it's a hot item, because I am competing with 32 different people for the keyword gardenia candles. When it comes to the land business, there are, I don't know how many counties there are, but there's probably millions of parcels out there. And the beautiful thing about land is there's not a limited amount of space for like a front page for land. A property can be bought, it can be sold, and it can be bought, and it can be sold, and it can be bought and be sold. And then there's all these parcels. There's just a gazillion properties out there that people want to get rid of. I mean, we could snap our fingers and buy 300 properties in the morning if we wanted to. We have so many leads. So there's not competition. It did take me a long time, but that's kind of why it took me a long time, because Amazon's just a completely different universe.
Right. This is related. Risky Biscuit says Amazon is race to zero price.
Race to the bottom. 100%.
Yeah, margins are like
to the bottom
because you have no control over the platform, and that's that's beautiful. The beautiful thing about this business compared to Amazon is margins are huge. All right, let's get this one. Let's see who this is. You see who this is on your is this Facebook? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's Aaron Perez.
Okay, it's not showing up on mine. Aaron Perez says, when selling, do you get the buyer on the phone?
Absolutely. We have a team of five salespeople. We just actually hired someone new today. Hell yes. That's all I can say is hell yes.
Yeah, getting on the phone is absolutely critical in building trust with customers. You are not going to do well selling property if you're not talking to potential buyers, and even you got to flip over the tire kickers and find out who's real, who's not. It is a sales game, so you got to get on the phones if you want to succeed in this niche. Risky Biscuit says, do you guys partner on deals? I like the name. If margin's there. So I used to do some deal partnering. However, at this point, we have so many deals, so we don't have an issue sourcing deals. We have capital sourcing for capital, so we don't have the need to partner on deals. However, when you get started, if you don't have the capital, you don't have a track record, it's a bit harder to you might need to give up some equity in these deals. And I think it's a great way to get started. You start learning, getting deal experience. So I think it's a great idea, but that's not something that we are doing at this point.
Let's take 2 more questions.
Sure.
I like this one. In terms of lifestyle, will I lose a lot of deals if I have a mailer responders go to voicemails and sort out who wants to sell? Absolutely not. We don't, on the buy side, when we're buying properties, we don't take phone calls. We have an answering service, Pat Live. Pat Live is awesome. And, I would recommend it for anyone to do it, to sign up for it. And we do have discounted pricing. You can, I'll get the link in a second, but basically we have a script that they follow. We ask them, what's the APN of the property? What's the price? Are you accepting the offer? The most important question at the end of the day is, are you accepting the offer? If they're not accepting the offer, and then if they're not, we ask them what their counteroffer is. And if their counteroffer is not even close, there's not a conversation to be had. So you don't even have to take the time to sort out a voicemail. So if you sign up for something like Pat Live, we get an email every morning with all the calls and the call logs and what the conversations entailed. So I would recommend, in the beginning, definitely sort it out on your own. And then once you get the hang of it, get some type of answering service in place, because it's not a critical part to answer the phone immediately when someone calls for buying properties from people.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Let's
I would
grab
say
one more
try to
here.
answer the phones when you're getting started, and then you could learn to outsource it. But you're not going to lose deals if you send it to voicemail. Just call them back as soon as practical, after work, at lunch, whenever, the next day. Just try to be responsive. You want to say you want to take one more?
Yeah, let's take one more.
All right. Which one do you want to take?
Let's see. I don't know. You pick one.
I think this one is decent. Is your experience that mostly? I got asked this question the other day by someone, and maybe it's the same person. I'm not sure. For some reason, I can't see the name on here, and my feed is not loading on my phone. But your experience is this mostly men entering the business. Lots of women of the niche. Both my coaches have been women. So not sure which coaches you're referring, but I would say we have plenty of students who are women. I would say you're probably right. I would say real estate in general is more male dominated, but we have plenty women in the niche who are doing very well. I know a couple in particular that are doing very well. I don't want to give them shout outs because I don't have their permission to do so, but I have several women students who are doing very well, doing deals, and one of them is doing a lot of deals. So in particular, I don't know what the percentage is. I would say maybe 75-25 male to female, but I don't. That's certainly no. There's no reason women should not get started in the program.
And with that being said, we have a couple of females on our sales team, so definitely it's not like if you're a girl or a female, it's not like a problem to go for it. It is mostly male dominated, but they're out there. They're doing deals.
Okay. It's Sharon Gordon Smith. Okay, so that's Sharon Gordon.
Yeah, so Sharon, if you click at the top settings there, you can on the post, you should be able to click a setting so it'll show your name for the next time we do a live. I think that wraps it up.
All right, so yeah, we can wrap it up there. I guess if you guys are interested in the land investing niche, you want to get started, we put out a free webinar on our website, landinvestingpros.com. A ton of great content on there. We thought very in depth on what to include. We put a ton of valuable content on there. So if you watch through to the full video, by the end of it, you will have literally a blueprint on how to get started in the land investing business. So go to landinvestingpros.com if you're interested in learning more information there. So anything else, Paul?
And yeah, I would say if on this live, if you're listening to this and you know that you want to do land and you want to learn how to do it, go ahead and send William a message right now, and we'll see how nice he's feeling tonight. send him a message that you're interested in joining, and he'll take the conversation from there. But send Willie a message after the call if you feel that you're ready to start learning how to sell land.
Yeah, happy to
That's
give some
about it.
feedback, and would love to talk to interested prospective investors. The niche is great, and so happy I got started. But so yeah, reach out to me. Would love to talk to you guys.
With that being said, we still haven't come up with our catchphrase. We
Yeah.
don't have a catchphrase yet.
If anyone has ideas for a catchphrase, please send it in the chat. We need some help.
Yeah, like keep flipping those lots, or make those deals, or we just need a cool catchphrase. We just don't have it yet. Someday it'll come to us, but right now we just don't have anything of value for a catchphrase.
Yeah.
So keep flipping those lots.
Keep flipping the lots. Go land.
All right. So next week, same time, same place. Join us on our live, and we will see you all next week. And those that are members, we'll be going live. I believe, is it tomorrow or Thursday? We'll be going live.
Thursday.
With Thursday live data tree walkthrough. So one of the benefits of being in the land flipping formula, we do lives once a week showing you advanced tips and tricks. So this week we are flip lands for grands. I kind of like.
You also get 3 months of group coaching. We never talk about that, but that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah. So we're going live, or Willie's going live on Thursday to do a live data tree walkthrough. So you'll see from the eyes of Willie, who is a data tree data master wizard. Wizard. He's a wizard in data tree and Excel. You'll see how he sees it. So that's one of the cool benefits. I kind of like, who posted this? Oh, Moises Jimenez says,
flip lands for grands.
Flip lands for grands. That's a good start.
Pretty good.
I think we can iterate from there.
We can build off of that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's too gender specific. I was going to say be a man, flip land, but be a. Well, no. Let me preface this. There is a company. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It's called Be a Man, Buy Land, and they own like 1,000 properties in Florida. They're the biggest land dealers in Florida, but their company is called Be a Man, Buy Land, which I think is so sexist.
Really, really bad marketing. Not sure how they came to that, but
they're one of the biggest players in Florida. So flip lands for grands. We'll see you next week.
Flip lands for grands.